Good morning, YouTube. Today, I would like to talk to you about chemistry. Now, I'm not even really in a chemistry class yet, but we've been talking about it a lot in my physical science class, and I really do enjoy it. However, if I get anything wrong or make some slip up, I would absolutely love to be corrected, because it means that I get to learn something new. Bra strap. Be difficult. But I just thought I'd share a few interesting things I've learned related to chemistry, even if they're not interesting to anyone but me. Number 1, empirical formulas. Most of you probably know the basics of how chemical formulas are structured. If there's a chemical formula H2O, that means there are 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom in every molecule of water. So it follows that in a molecule with a chemical formula P4O10, there would be 4 phosphorus atoms and 10 oxygen atoms. But because sometimes a single molecule is really, really big, like with polymers, or lots of small molecules linked together to make a bigger one, it's really hard to write out the chemical formulas as they are. That is where empirical formulas come in. So let's go back to P4O10. If there are 4 phosphorus atoms and 10 oxygen atoms in every molecule, then there are 2 phosphorus atoms for every 5 oxygen atoms. An empirical formula is essentially the ratio between atoms in a molecule. So for P4O10, the empirical formula would be P2O5. That means that empirical formulas are kind of like putting molecules in simplest form. But empirical formulas differ from simplifying fractions in one major way. The original version and the simplified version are not actually the same molecule. So the molecule made of 2 phosphorus atoms and 5 oxygen atoms is not the same chemical as the atom made of 4 phosphorus and 10 oxygen atoms, although they are chemically related. Now that annoyingly lengthy explanation is out of the way, let's get to the really interesting part. Consider these 3 substances. Formaldehyde, the very toxic substance used to embalm bodies after death. Glucose, or the chemical that essentially is your blood sugar. And acetic acid, a watered-down form of which is vinegar. These 3 things are totally different, right? Not related in any way, chemically or otherwise. But what if I told you that all 3 of these things have the same empirical formula? That's right, all 4 of these chemicals have the same ratio of oxygen to carbon to hydrogen in all of their molecules, despite seeming completely different. It's kind of awesome, right? Number 2, alkali metals. What if I told you that I could use water to make something catch on fire? Sounds totally insane, right? And yet it can actually happen. Group 1 of the periodic table, the alkali metals, react very violently with water, sometimes so violently that they can actually be on fire while in the water. Their reactions become more violent as you're moving down the column. So lithium is the weakest, producing just a few little sparks, and francium, in theory, would be the most powerful, but it's super radioactive, and so they can't get it in large enough amounts to test it. Unfortunately, not being a science teacher or an actual chemist yet, I can't show this to you firsthand because, you know, I can't go buy some plain potassium. However, I found some footage on the YouTubes of these reactions happening in the doobly-doo, and I will show it to you now. I don't have time to fit all of it in, so let's skip right to the interesting one, cesium. Number 3, mercury. Did you know that mercury fumes can cause dementia? Did you know that it's the only metal that is liquid at room temperature? Although gallium, which is also a metal, has a melting point below the temperature of the human body, and so if you just hold it in your hands, it melts. Did you know that back before anyone knew mercury was dangerous, hatters, or people who made hats, would use it to shine top hats? And because of their prolonged exposure to the fumes, they would eventually go crazy, hence the term Mad Hatter. Yes, like Alice in Wonderland. Johnny Depp looks like this because of a substance found in thermometers. Anyway, those are my interesting facts about chemistry. DFTBA, and Mickey, I will see you tomorrow. Oh, also of particular interest, my birthday was yesterday, Tuesday, February 22nd. I'm now 14 years old. I got a bunch of awesome stuff for my birthday, among other things, a book called The Beatles for Ukulele, and perhaps more importantly, an actual ukulele. Bye, guys.